I guess I'll start my New Year's resolution for mine, and it has to do with the Chicago Bulls.
Break out the violin, folks.
Yeah, this is going to be tough. I mean, we always have to talk about the Bulls. They're near and dear to my heart. They're near and dear to Evan's heart. So my New Year's resolution for the Chicago Bulls and what they should be hoping for, they need to fix that roster.
The whole podcast could have been dedicated just towards
yeah,
this
we can talk 30 minutes about this. They need to fix their roster, and they have to figure out what direction they are going to go in. Because right now, it's a bit of a directionless team. I mean, they have a lot of young guys that they're starting to develop a little bit more with the absence of Zach LaVine, but they still have DeMar DeRozan and Nikola Vucevic. So is this a team that wants to compete for a playoff spot and better than even a play-in spot? They want to be that 6th team, that 7th team in there. Or is this a team that now, you maybe have some trade assets with Zach LaVine, you have some trade assets with DeMar, maybe you go out and get some draft picks and you kind of blow up the team.
But see,
you got to figure out a direction. Pick a lane.
Yeah, you pick a
can't
lane
be in
and stay there.
purgatory
Pick
for
a
the next
side
3 years.
and stay there. I understand that. But for me, Ben, let me ask you this, bro. Obviously, Zach LaVine makes like $40 million a year. That's a $200 million contract. And then DeRozan makes $30 million. It's going to be extremely difficult to move those contracts and try to get draft picks as well. How are they going to go about that? And how are they going to go about that with the way some of these teams are currently constructed? They ain't really got no picks for you. You got to call the Thunder with the 17 first-round picks over the next 5 years.
And the Thunder don't need anyone. Yeah,
exactly.
They're second in the West. They don't need to upgrade or downgrade their roster in any way. So the Bulls are kind of in a weird spot. I don't know, Evan, you're a Bulls person yourself. Or do you think they should go... should they go the way of blowing up the team, try to hope for better draft picks?
I mean, the number one thing is to move Zach LaVine. I mean, once that's finally done, you have to play it out and see how this goes for a little while. I don't know if they're going to trade DeMar in the middle of the season, but isn't he a free agent at the end of this year, or is it after?
If he is, that's going to be great for the Chicago Bulls because they could potentially just move on from him. Now, I know you probably wouldn't want to move on from DeRozan and get nothing in return.
Yeah.
Because you want, like you said, you want to have some draft capital. But I think the only way you can really get that for the Chicago Bulls in that scenario is if you get a third team involved with the Zach LaVine trade. That's the only way I honestly see them trading Zach LaVine is if you have a third team involved. You can't trade him straight up with another team.
Value is so low right now, too. Coming off injuries upon injuries, not playing well this year.
You're not going to get much. They have to pick a lane.
Yeah.
They just do. They have to figure out what direction they want to go, and they have to figure out how to fix this roster in a good way. And it's a very tough task, but it's a resolution and a goal they should strive for before the end of the year. Because then if they're just going to be in purgatory for the next 3 or 4 years, what's the point? That's a worse spot to be in the NBA.
You want to know something funny? I'm finna mess with your brain real quick.
I'm scared. Yeah.
Who's a better player, Bam Adebayo or Vucevic? Right off the top of your head. Just off the top of your head.
I'd go Bam.
I know.
And we talked about this.
You want to know what's funny? They're probably the Spider-Man meme. They probably looking at each other.
A little similar.
Me and some of the fellas from the bullpen, we had that conversation.
Defensively.
And we broke it down. It's because it's literally what that would be. Defensively, you probably want Bam because it's 1 through 5.
Yeah.
Offensively, long story short, you probably want Vooch.
And we looked up how good he was at the rim. He's not very good this year. He's not very good at the rim this year, but he can hit threes.
Exactly.
Bam's not hitting threes. So it kind of depends on what the team needs are. I think Bam would fit great on the Bulls. I really do. I think he would be a great fit on the Bulls over Vucevic. And Vooch also, he has the passing ability. I don't want to downplay that.
That's what I'm saying.
He's a good passer. You run the offense through him, it's good.
Only reason why I brought that up is because, I always hear this flack from Bulls fans about, Vooch, he's bad. He said, but it's like, bro, what else you going to get? You're not going to get him nothing much better. A guy like Bam Adebayo, you're going to trade offense for defense. Yeah. I'm not saying that's a trade scenario, but I'm just comparing, like, players across the Eastern Conference as it relates to bigs. Like, who's out there that can play better than Vucevic right now? That's not named Joel Embiid or Giannis. You know
right.
What I
mean, it's a tough market. It really is.
I know you would take Vooch over Julius Randle. I know you would.
Yeah, I probably would. I would take him over Randle. The center market is really tough, and maybe kind of I'd take a step back and I could reassess and look at Vooch and be like,
I'll leave it at this. Think about this for a second. Do we need to start holding front offices accountable?
Yes.
And player development accountable as it relates to some of these directions and some of these moves that some of these teams make? And I asked that question because of Lauri Markkanen. I'm just going to say that one name.
Yeah.
Just that one name.
He's been great on the Jazz.
He's been great on the Jazz.
And he didn't develop well with the Bulls.
Exactly.
But you have Kobe White now developing pretty well.
That's true.
it comes down to so many factors,
yes.
right? Like coach, playing time, who the development personnel is on that team.
Fair.
It's so many factors that I think you can't put it all on the front office, I don't think, but I think you can put it on you can put it a little bit on the front office when they talk about making sure the pieces you get match with each other too, right?
Yes, but the player development should also be crucial, right?
Yes.
Think about that. Think about all the Bulls players they've drafted within the last 10 years. Have they developed any of their own true like players? Can you really say that?
Other than maybe Jimmy? Over the last 10 years? Yeah, that's about it. Probably Jimmy's the best one.
That's a tough one.